There is no God, there is no universe, no one has created this universe, and this universe technically does not exist at all. This sounds really strange, and this sounds like it is absolute nonsense. But this is the profound teaching of Ajata Vada, a radical concept in Vedanta which is called as the theory of non-creation. This theory tells us that universe has never been created, and not only that, it says that there is nothing called as the universe. There is no God, there is no creator, there is no creation, there is no seeker, and there is nothing, says this teaching. In order to make sense of all this, we need to go really deep. So make sure to listen to this video carefully and make sure to watch this till the end. The term Ajatavada translates to no creation, no manifestation, positing that the universe as we perceive it was never created. To understand this, we need to dive deep into the teachings of one of the strongest proponents of Advaita Vedanta, who is Sri Gaudapada Acharya. Gaudapada Acharya, who was a guru's guru of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, was one of the strongest proponents of Advaita Vedanta, which is a school of Vedanta which says that the true reality of the world is that it is non-dual. There is just one absolute reality, and everything else apart from that absolute reality is a mere illusion. Gaudapada Acharya compared the universe to a dream, an idea central to Ajatavada. Just as a dream appears, changes and dissolves without any substantial creation or dissolution, the universe appears to change without truly changing. Now, all these teachings and concepts might be really alien to some of you, and you might be finding it really hard to digest. But bear with me here, because this is a very profound teaching and it goes into the heart of Vedantic teachings, and this explains to us clearly what this reality is about. Now we will understand this with two simple examples. The first example is this. Now just assume hypothetically that this entire universe is made up of one substance. There is just one thing in which this universe is made up of. If this universe have to be made of just one object or one substance, then there is nothing called time, space, causation, there are no different objects, there are no planets, there is nothing which is different from each other. There is just one pure substance with which the entire universe is made. Hypothetically, if that is the case, if that is how this universe actually is, then there cannot be any activity, there cannot be any experience, there cannot be any movement. There cannot be any activity because for an activity to happen, there needs to be a subject and an object. There needs to be different elements for an activity to take place. And there cannot be a movement because movement happens with respect to two objects. When there is a single object, there can be no movement or motion as such, and there can also be no experience as such, because for an experience to happen we need three things: the object of experience, the subject of experience, and the experiencing itself. If there is one single object, then an experience cannot take place. If hypothetically this universe was made up of one singular substance, then technically the universe was never created. There was no creator, there is no creation as such, and there is no object of creation, there is no subject of creation, and there is no universe itself, since there is just one fundamental substance. But this is hypothetical. Of course, we have nowhere concluded that this is actually real. Now let us look at another example. This example is of a dream. Now we all dream different dreams, and within our dreams we experience various things. We talk to different people, we experience different objects within the dream, and within the dream we experience the dream world as though it is real to us. We don't realize that it is a projection or an illusion. If a tiger appears in the dream, we run for our lives because we are trying to save ourselves. We think that it is actually happening to us. It is only when we wake up from that dream, we realize that it was a projection within our mind. Now, observe this example really carefully, because this shows us the nature of reality as explained by Ajata Vada. When we are within the dream, we think that the people around us and the different objects within the dream have their own independent existence apart from us. We think that we as the dream ego are different and the people whom we are interacting with within the dream are different. But once we wake up, we realize that both happened within our minds and both were the projection of our minds. And hence, the substance of both of them were actually the same. There was no road as such, there was no sky as such, there were no different people as such. It was all an illusion within our minds. And there was one single substance which pervaded the entire dream experience, since it was all a projection in our mind. It is not a substance as such, but it was all one reality within the mind. We only experienced it at that point of time as something which was real to us. Now, this is exactly how we need to understand the world around us. What Ajatavada tells us is that this universe has technically never been created. It only seems to be created from the perspective of our minds. Our mind is a consequence of Maya, and our mind is a consequence of time, space, and causation. When we see this universe and when we perceive this world from the perspective of our minds, it seems like it is real to us. And it seems like a universe has been created. But technically speaking, and from the perspective of that pure awareness, this universe has never been created. This universe is just a projection in that consciousness or awareness or in God. So imagine that God is dreaming a dream, and within his dream, this universe is projected. And that ultimate reality or God has assumed himself the position of an individual and is experiencing various things in this world from an individual perspective. But technically, this universe has never been created. This is a dream or an illusion or a projection. In truth, God only exists without any creation. If you don't want to use the word God because you can't relate to it, try using the word pure awareness or consciousness. So there is a pure awareness or consciousness, and this entire universe that we see all around us is a dream or a projection in that pure awareness or consciousness. That pure awareness or consciousness has assumed the position of an individual and is experiencing this world through the instruments of body and mind. This is what we need to realize. If we realize this, and if we realize our bodies and our minds as just an instrument, we will truly realize that we are that pure awareness or consciousness or God. This is the truth behind the statement Aham Brahmasmi. When Vedanta says Aham Brahmasmi, it is not saying that this body or this mind is God. It is saying that that fundamental reality, which is the foundation for this universe, is God. And I am that fundamental reality or consciousness. But right now, I have identified myself with this body and mind because of an illusion and because of ignorance. And this has happened because of Maya. And through meditation, through contemplation, and through the systematic study of Vedanta, we can understand who we truly are, and we can realize ourselves to be pure awareness or consciousness. Now, this can be a tough idea to imbibe since our sensory perception of the world is so deeply ingrained. In Ajatavada, however, the world we perceive is considered as an illusion or Maya, and the only reality is the unchanging, indivisible, absolute Brahman or pure awareness. Now, let us look at one simple example before we close this video. This example is of a clay and a pot. If we look at a clay and a pot, both of them are fundamentally clay. A pot only appears to exist. A pot is in and through clay. There is nothing in pot apart from clay. So, from the perspective of clay, nothing has been created as such. the pot is clay alone, because there is no thing called a pot apart from clay. Just like this universe is consciousness alone. There is nothing apart from consciousness. The world only appears to exist, but it does not. The true existence of this world is consciousness alone, or pure awareness alone. And this is the ultimate reality, or Brahman. I hope this was valuable to you. And if you want to learn how you can transform your life with these teachings, you can check out our community cum learning platform, the Advaita Conscious Society. You can join the platform by visiting advaita.com. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you on the next one.